What happened? What happened? I thought you were going to be a millionaire by 25. No? What about, I thought you were going to be a millionaire by age 30. 30. No? I thought you were going to be a millionaire by age 40. No? I thought you were going to be a millionaire by age 50. No? I thought you were going to be a millionaire by age 60. No? So my question is, what happened? What happened? I mean, in high school, we had so many plans and so many goals and dreams. What happened? I understand life happens, right? You get a husband, you get a wife, you get children, you have family members, you might have your parents living with you, you have other obligations. I mean, I get it. I mean, I understand. See, all of those excuses, I use them all. I mean, I understand. But in the ultimate scheme of things, what is that going? How is that going to help us? And what can we do? Those excuses are not going to feed us when we get to our lean years. They're not going to feed us, because you get to a point where you're going to be at an age where they're not supposed to discriminate against you, but you're not. People are not going to want people in their 50s and 60s in their startup companies or in their companies. Most people, unless it's your company, right? And you don't want to have it happen to you. So what do we do? How do we correct this situation? Here we are. We got the same problem. Let me lay out the problem that we all have. We are not having enough money go into our bank accounts. That is our major problem. So that is the problem that we all have to find a way to solve, because eventually, see, this is the thing that they never told you in high school. You are responsible for you're responsible for your income every day of your life. You're responsible. There's a financial cost associated with your daily existence, and you are responsible for that daily cost. Whether you're after the age of 18, is your responsibility. If someone wants to help you, that's nice. You have parents that want to help you, that's nice. You have family that wants to help you, that's nice. You have a person in a relationship you with, they want to help you, that's nice. But no one has to help you after you turn 18 years old. No one has to help you do anything. Real talk. So we're basically on our own. We're on our own. So in high school, they never told you that there's a financial responsibility. There's a financial cost to your daily existence, whether you're 18 years old or 98 years old. There's a financial cost to your existence. So the question becomes, how do you mitigate that cost? How do you make sure that you have the income to be able to deal with that cost on a daily basis or weekly or monthly basis? How do you do that? I have a video where we talk about 9 different ways you can get income. You can generate income. It's not strategy. It's just categories of ways you can get income. So it's not actually where there's steps involved. It's just different categories of income, because there's different categories of income, and then what you can do inside those categories. But I have a video on that. You can check that video out. But the most out of those categories, the most used way by most people is employment. They seek employment. Employment is the average way that most people will go out and try to mitigate their daily existence and the costs involved associated with them, their daily existence, right? But what I'm here to suggest to you is that employment may not be enough to actually fulfill that, not only your obligation, but other goals and aspirations you might have. Because I say, like you say, I'm like I ask you, what happened? If you think back, what were your goals? You had goals and dreams and plans, right? But maybe you let somebody talk you out of them, right? See, there's one word that can kill any dream and kill it. And if somebody uses it consistently on you, then they can kill your spirit and your dream, and they can kill the life of the dream in you. And that one word is doubt. See, the person you can be well-meaning. You want to do something, but there's another person, maybe a spouse, family member, a really close person that's always creating this doubt in you. And they put so much doubt in you, and they put so much pressure on you to do what they understand. See, some people, all they understand is working for 30 years and getting a gold watch and getting a pension at the end. And but see, today's world, you don't even know if you're gonna get a pension. But some people, that's all they know. That's all they know. They saw their father do that. They saw their mother do that. So that's all they know. They don't understand the commitment it's going to take. See, for you to correct this situation, it's going to take a massive commitment from you. And you're going to have to get strong. See, I know I was weak. That's why I know what I'm talking about. You have to get strong so that you can look the people that's going to try to bring the doubt to you, even your own family members, because you don't want to lop their heads off, right? They're telling you what they think is best, but that's from their perspective, right? But you don't want to lop their heads off, but you just want to continue your work. You just want them to leave you alone and continue your work. So you're going to have to get the strength to be able to resist them. Hello, somebody. Amen. You're going to have to resist them because they're going to tell you stuff that even though you know that it's not going to work, you can do the math and you can see our expenses are going up. My income is staying the same. There's going to be a time where we're going to be underwater. So something has to be done. The other person, because you're the one that's always taking care of everything, they don't see that the water's rising. They don't see it. And then they say, you know what they say in their head? He'll figure a way out for this. She'll figure a way out for this. They always do. I don't have to worry about anything. And they don't worry. They are oblivious to the situation, the seriousness of the situation. They are oblivious to it. But my question to you is, you're going to have to, my question to you is, how bad is your situation going to have to get before you take action? See, how bad is it going to get? How bad are you going to let it get? It's already bad. You have things that you want to do and you can't do them because you don't have the money. You just simply don't have the money. You may need you got a little car and you may need a better car because you just need to get around you, or you need a bigger car. Your family's expanding, and because of your credit or your income or both, you're not able to get that bigger car to be able to take the whole family in one vehicle. I know, man, I done did all this stuff. So I already know. I've been there. I did all this. So I know. I'm talking from, I got the tire marks on me already. Had to do all of this to get to this point where I could stand up and say, hey, you know what? I'm not going to stand. You can go ahead and say what you're going to say. I'm moving this way. I'm doing what I'm going to do. I was always the kind of guy that was like, okay, well, you know what? I don't want to be stressed for anyone else. If that's going to make you feel better that I'm just not going to pursue this or that, I just won't pursue it then. I was that type of guy. Very nonchalant. Because I have a very easygoing personality. But I saw that that's not going to work. If you want to achieve things in life and be successful, you can't be easygoing. Well, you can be easygoing when it doesn't relate to creating income. But when it comes to creating income, you have to be unwavering. You have to You cannot be in denial. See, these people are in denial where they think, oh well, things are going to be okay. You're going to work for 40 years on a job or 30 years on a job, and then you're going to retire and everything's going to be okay. But it's not. It's not. That's typically not what's going to happen. You see the way things are changing in America? You don't know what's going to happen. The only opportunity you have is to learn how to create more income. That absolutely is the only option you have. Only reasonable option you have of dealing with the situation. This world is just going in 10 different directions at the same time. You don't know what to do. And getting a better job, is there a thing as a better job? It might be a better job. I'm not saying it's not. And I'm saying you should quit your job. I have a formula for when you should quit your job. I'm going to put that on another video. But what I'm saying is, a job alone is probably not going to do it in today's world. See, 30 years ago, 50 years ago, you could work one person working a job in a household. You could buy a house. You could buy a car. You could buy a property. You could do a lot of different things with just one person working. The way things are now, that is just very difficult to do. That's more than difficult. It's more than difficult. Unless the one person is making, 7 figures or 6 or 7 figures, is very difficult. Very difficult. And most people do not make that kind of money. The average person is making about 50 grand or less. Right? So, we got to get out of this situation, man. We got to get out of this. We can't be sitting up in here no more. We got to figure a way out. So, to figure your way out, I'm going to lay down so many different ways where you're going to be able to get out of this situation. But you got to the one thing I can't do for you is go into you and go into your household and let the people know that you are unstoppable. You are an unstoppable force. You are not going to be denied. You're just not. This is your moment. This is your meet me at the beach at 6 a.m. moment. This is your moment. If you really want to change, it's not no magical, spooky secret. It's just committing and determining that what you want, committing to that idea, and sacrificing for it. Now, when I say determine what you want, what do you want? What do you want? Do you want to be, what do you want? See, some people, I want a motorcycle. So you get a motorcycle and then you're done. And you don't even see the storm clouds gathering. It's a question of what do you want? What do you want? See, you have to say that. You have to answer that. What do you want? Do you want to make extra money to, like I said, buy a motorcycle or, buy a van or, or buy a cool car? Cool cars are nice. Motorcycles are nice. But they depreciate quickly. Those type of things depreciate quickly. I'll talk in another video about depreciation. But in other words, they lose the value very quickly. And so if I bought a motorcycle today for $700 in a week, if I needed that $700 back, I went back to try and sell it, I probably could get $5 for it. That's how quickly something like that will depreciate. But my point is, what do you want? You got to decide what you want. Do you want to drive a motorcycle, or do you want your family financially independent? That is what you got to do. See, we got to get, it's like the old story about the person getting 3 wishes and wasting the 3 wishes on different silly things. It's just, you only got so much time to work with, right? You only got so much resources to work with. You only got so much time to work with. We can't play no more. We can't play anymore. See, this is kind of stuff we should have been told in high school, so we would have been focusing ourselves on what to do, but we weren't taught this in high school. Thank you, Ronald Reagan, for getting rid of all of these the home economics and everything that would help us to have learned how to budget and how to do all this stuff, and how we would need credit to have our credit right, so we could get things to see. They used to have a class like that called home economics, and they would teach you these things. But see, thanks to the Reagan administration, schools had to get rid of those kind of classes, right? Okay, no problem. I mean, that's what's done is done. But now we have to figure out for ourselves a supplemental educational situation where we can learn how to do these things from a trusted source. And I am a trusted source because I have done everything wrong. You will see me refer to myself as Captain Stupid many times in these videos, because I have done anything you can do wrong. Pretty much I have done it. Well, just anything. So I've done all those stuff. Thank God that he pulled me out of that, of the mentality of accepting mediocrity and foolishness, and helped me to see that my life could be much better if I just accepted that, if I would open my mind to the fact that there's more out there. I don't have to try to do everything all at one time. There's a time to have fun, there's a time to play, and there's a time to work. And you need to work when it's time to work, and play when it's time to play, eat when it's time to eat, sleep when it's time to sleep, love when it's time to love, right? So, like I said, you got to find out what you want. What do you want? We all want financial security, right? That's what most of us really want. If you break it down to the brass tacks and the least common denominator, it's probably what we all want, is to be financially secure. Where anytime if we need anything or want to do anything, all we have to do is get in our car and drive to the bank. And even then, we don't even have to do that. We can go and just use a card, right? So we don't have to figure out, oh no, we don't have enough money to do X, Y, Z, so now we can't do it. We don't have to be in that position anymore. We'll never be in that position again. So that's what I'm here to help you do. I'm here to help myself do it. My goal is for all of us, anybody that's listening to my voice and looks at me as a trusted source for information, will do that. So you got to determine what you want. What do you want? The next thing after you determine what you want, and my suggestion is, at least it should be financial independence. So the next thing, you're going to have to commit. So you got to commit to this. This ain't nothing where you're going to just say, I want that. See, desire alone is not enough. Desire alone is not enough. You remember that if for the guys, you're dating a girl, just because you want to be in a relationship with this girl or be intimate with the girl, that is not enough. You're going to have to commit to being around and showing her that it's going to be just more than just that situation going on for her to be able to relax enough to allow that to take place. See, it's going to take a commitment from you. It's going to take that's just an example. But for financial independence, it's going to take an even more enormous commitment. It's an enormous commitment. It's an enormous commitment. I'll give you an example of Kobe Bryant. Kobe Bryant knew in his head what he wanted. He knew what he wanted. So he had to commit at the age of 5 or 6 years old. He had to commit to that goal at that young of an age and commit all those years to finally be on that table with those championships with the confetti flying, because he saw that in his head. But he had to commit. And all those years later, we had other different milestones and different things that happened that were good to him. But the ultimate goal he had in his head was to be on that table with his arms stretched out with the basketball in his arms and the confetti flying down. He had that dream in his head at 5 or 6 years old. What are you willing to commit to? Are you willing to commit to being financially free? Because it's much easier to be an employee. It's much easier, right? That lane is already laid out for you. You can go. That's what I call a financial kill zone. You already been laid out to go walk down that road. But see, what you want to do is you want to be able to get that money and use some of that money, use some of the money that you're making off your job to invest in yourself. Because ultimately, like I said, this world is crazy. You don't know what's going on. You don't know what's going to happen from day to day. So at the level of understanding that we're at, we have to work at the best, highest understanding, which is creating income will practically solve most of our problems. They will practically solve most of our problems. It ain't going to solve all your problems, but almost all of your problems. Creating more income will solve almost all of your problems. So you have to commit. You got to commit. You got to be committed. And then the last thing you got to do is you're going to have to sacrifice. See, Kobe Bryant, he sacrificed. His daughters didn't see him when they wanted to. His wife didn't see him all the time when she wanted to. His family members didn't see him because he was deranged. He had to, the goal was so clear in his head that it frustrated him when he wasn't on that track to work to get that goal. His mind was, he was so focused. He was so focused. How focused are you? How focused are you? See, you gotta sacrifice. So it's gonna be, you haven't come to my game. You don't cook all the time anymore. You don't do this. You don't do that. It's gonna be, you're gonna have to sacrifice. Sacrifice. You're gonna have to sacrifice. That means you probably ain't gonna be able to watch all that TV anymore. And I'm gonna tell you a little story about me. What happened to me, it was such a good thing. What happened to me is I lost the remote control for the TV in my room. So I wasn't able to watch the TV because the way my cable was set up, you had to have the remote to turn the cable on and change the channels. And I was too lazy to go online and get the app and set it up through my phone. I'm old school, you know. I gotta have it in my hand and, you know, see it light up and everything. So I couldn't find the remote, and I didn't watch TV for about 2 or 3 months. Man, my head got so clear. I was like, wow, you know. And then I started looking at it. I started recognizing that I was just watching the same shows over and over and over again. I was watching the same thing over and over again. I was like a crackhead. I was trying to get the new high from the same batch over and over and over, and never going out to actually do anything to make anything better for anything. That was such a blessing. Thank you, God, for making me lose those remotes. That was such a blessing. Till it just made me get back on track. Because I turned around, I woke up, I was like, what happened? How did I get here? Oh, I know I got here. Because every now and then, something will push me off this square and push me off and push me. And before you know it, you're way off your square where you want it to be. Well, I'm here to tell you, got to committing, yes, but sacrificing, you're going to have to sacrifice. You're going to have to give up some time. You're going to have to give up some money. You're going to have to give up some relationships. And sometimes, unfortunately, sometimes you're going to have to walk away from some people, or you're going to have to leave them alone. I mean, it's going to come to either that or the financial free. See, you can want to stay with people, but if you stay with them, that's going to jeopardize your ability to create this income. So you're going to have to decide, is it worth it? Is financial independence worth you not being in a friendship with someone, or you not being in a relationship with someone? Is it worth it? See, is it really worth it? Would you rather be in poverty, but you around other poor people, or would you rather be successful, but maybe the poor people are going to say you stuck up, you're this, you're that? Me personally, I don't care what you say about me. I don't care. I've had so many things said about me when I was really out of my mind. So now that the Lord had blessed me to get my mind back, I don't care nothing about what you're gonna say about me. Who cares? Who cares? Because if I want to go to the store and buy me some ice cream, I can go buy me some ice cream, or a TV, or a car, or whatever I want to do. I can go do it. I don't have to be. Oh man, I used to be like, my family come to me and say, "Hey, you know what? We need some chair. We need some furniture. We need this or we need that. We need a new bed or this or that. One of my sons or whatever." I used to be like, I used to cringe. Oh man, damn! How am I gonna do that? How am I gonna do that? See, you don't want to be in that position. I've been there. You don't want to be in that position. You don't want to be in that position. Oh, Dad, I need $4,000 to do this. I want to move into this apartment. I need a couple $1,000s to do this. And you go, oh man, well, I can't help you. You don't want to be in that position. You don't want to be in that position. You want to be able to help your family if you can. If God put it on your heart that that's something you should do, you should be able to do it. But anyway, like I said, I told you, you're gonna have to sacrifice. That means this is the hardest part of it, because people are going to tell you that people that don't understand what it takes to be financially independent, which is most of the people out here, they're going to tell you that you are being selfish. You're selfish for what you're doing. And they're right. You are selfish, because you're not going to let yourself feel bad because the whole thing went down the drain. I'm not going to do that to myself. I'm not going to let this whole thing go down the drain because you can't see it coming. No, I'm going to build this ark now. Like Noah, I'm building this ark. If you can't see it, don't worry. When the water comes, they'll all come running to that ark. Don't worry. Just like Noah's ark, they'll be banging on it. Bang, 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 bang. Let us in, let us in, let us in. You know what I mean? But that's okay. You have to you can't worry about that right now. Go ahead and build your ark. In your ark, that is a metaphor for the protection of the information that you have, and of the execution. That is your protection, is the execution of this information that we're going to give you. That's your protection. So anyway, I hope you see the cost of what it's going to take to return your life around. Your life is not where you want it to be if it's not where you want it to be. Most people's lives are not. If your life is not where you want it to be, commit to yourself. Decide what you really want out of life. Commit to doing it. Commit to having it. And then commit to whatever you got to do it in a productive way. Do it, and then sacrifice. You know there's always a sacrifice with everything, every change. A sacrifice has to be involved with any change that comes. So you're going to have to sacrifice. So don't be alarmed when the people are saying you're selfish. You're going to create friction between the other people that you live with, because they're not going to understand your deranged view of this has to happen. This has to happen. It cannot not happen. It has to happen. They're not going to understand that, because they don't look at anything like that. They don't look at nothing like that except entertainment. You're looking at something other than entertainment like that, and that's what's going to cause the friction. Don't worry about it. God is with you. You can do it. Just commit to doing it. Know what you want. Commit, and be sure that you understand that you're going to have to make a sacrifice, and there's going to be some pain involved, but go ahead and do it. At the end of the road, you'll be happy you did it, and your family will come and they will say, thank you for doing this. I'm glad you didn't listen to me. I heard that so many times. I'm glad you did not listen to me. Okay? See you on the next video, and take care of yourself.